Why do you love Spider-Man so much? It's a question I'm asked a lot, and to be honest, most of the time I couldn't tell you why. There's always been a sense of comfort I've had whenever I immerse myself into the world of Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the first movie I've ever cried to, and Spider-Man No Way Home is not only my favorite movie of all time, but the greatest theater experience I've ever had in my life.
I missed you, man!
Spider-Man's always been a character that meant the world to me, and though for years I never really knew why, I think after some self-reflecting, I was able to figure it out. So, why do I love Spider-Man? The key characteristic of Spider-Man to a lot of people has always been responsibility. He loses Uncle Ben due to his selfishness, takes responsibility for it, and spends the rest of his life being selfless. A compelling story in my eyes, but I don't think that's the key attribute that gravitates me towards him. There's something else, something that I struggled with more than ever. Well, what could it be? The answer is perseverance. Peter Parker has been through hell and back during his time as Spider-Man. From the day he lost Uncle Ben, to losing Aunt May, to losing Gwen, losing his best friend, or even losing everyone. The character of Peter Parker has suffered more than anyone ever wants to. And I'm sure any normal person, more specifically myself, would have been ready to give up. I mean, how much more could somebody take? Isn't there bound to be a breaking point? I mean, at some point, you're just bound to give in. But he doesn't. Peter Parker always gets back up. His tenacity keeps him going, and no matter what, he puts on that mask every day, and he protects his loved ones and the city as Spider-Man. Now you might be thinking right now,
that's cool and all, but how does this apply to you?
Well, here's how. Throughout my life, I've been through my fair share of trials and tribulations. Even going back when I was younger, I had to witness domestic abuse, and to an extent, even experience it. More recently, I had been dealing with depression, whether it be built-up self-hatred, loneliness, unworthiness. I just knew one thing: I didn't want to be alive. And one night, all those emotions, they all came together. September 29th, 2021. I downed a bunch of pills, chugged a bunch of water, and laid down on my bed, ready to go. I was getting texts from friends telling me not to do it, but I didn't care. I was fully ready to bid farewell to everything and everyone. I thought I'd had enough, or that my life had reached its end. Or I should instead say, I reached my end. But I got a text from someone, a text from my father, saying, "Good night, son. I love you." And I just stopped and looked at that message, and something hit me. I couldn't figure out what it was, but something did hit me. Feeling lost and confused, I turned on Spider-Man 2. And 2 hours and 15 minutes later, I had realized what hit me. As Peter Parker swung away, off into the sunset, after doing irreplaceable damage to the friendship he had built with his best friend, to losing his mentor, and almost losing the love of his life, he kept on going. And from there on, I knew that's what I had to do too. It's June 2022. I'm in a much better place mentally, and preparing to have the best summer of my life, surrounded by the best people in my life. And I have a lot of people to thank for this. Whether that be my friends, my family, my therapist, whoever. But there's also somebody I also thank for this. And his name is Spider-Man. Without him, the stories he goes on, the things he learns, and to an extent that I learned, I doubt I'd be the same person I am today. I doubt I'd be in the same place I am today. So, why do I love Spider-Man so much? Frankly, I will always love Spider-Man. What he's done for me and what I know he will continue to do for me. It's something I can never take for granted. To a lot of people, understandably, he's nothing more than just another superhero. Hell, for some, he may not even be your favorite superhero. But to me, Spider-Man represents everything I want to be. A good man with a good heart, who's more than willing to put others before himself. And yes, you might fall short. And yes, we might suffer more than we succeed. But in the end, you have to persevere. You keep getting back up. How do I know this? Because I know Spider-Man can lose battle after battle, and still keep fighting. maybe I can too.